Hello friends, I am Baltmatrix, and today we are taking a look at two core class figures. We have Studio Series Core Class Shockwave and Studio Series Core Class Ravage. We're going to take a look at both of them today. We're going to start off by taking a look at Ravage, the kitty. This figure is based off of the model, or the CGI model, that was used in the Bumblebee movie. And as a little Ravage from the movie, it works. It does work in robot mode. The robot mode is molded very well. The mouth opens and closes very well. And I wish I could zoom in closer, but I can't because, well, okay, there. I was able to zoom in a little closer. If I zoom in any more, it's going to become a mess. Posability for the little robot, for the little beast mode, ball joint in the shoulders, hinges at the lower joints, and the head can move up and down, and the mouth opens and closes. And the overall molding, overall look, and overall styling and painting of the figure is quite good. Accessory-wise, the figure comes with one big gun that can be mounted underneath and that can combine with Soundwave's giant missile thingy. He comes with two little guns that peg into his hindquarters, or its hindquarters. And then it comes with a missile launcher that is very tiny, very easy to lose, and one of my cats almost ate it. And that pegs into the top of the hindquarter area behind its back. And there, Ravage is all armored up and looking ridiculous. Posability-wise, yeah, there are joints, but they're all so limited. Like, that is the most amount of in and out movement you get at the front, and then the back can fold in but can't stretch out any farther. There's not much this figure can do. And Ravage feels super tiny compared to Soundwave. Now, this is because Ravage turns into a box that fits inside Soundwave's chest. But I don't feel like it scales correctly to the figure. Now, for the G1 figures, or G1 toys, I should say, this scaling is almost exactly right-ish. I don't know. It just feels really, really tiny for a figure that should be bigger. I don't know, maybe I'm just being dumb here. I just really feel like this little core class Ravage is just too darn tiny for Soundwave. Now remember I talked about this little gun can peg into the cannon. That is completely accurate. We've got a more G1 accurate cannon that Soundwave came with, though that gun Soundwave hand carried when in use. So we'll go ahead and unpeg it and get him to hold it. Huh. The proportions don't look right on that one. Yeah, we'll just keep it on the shoulder. That works better. Now, there is a tiny little hole on the end of the gun that Soundwave comes with, and the one little missile thing can fit on the end of the gun. But otherwise, all the other accessories, these things, when Ravage is in box mode, they don't go anywhere. There's nowhere for them to go on Soundwave. Maybe on another core class figure they'd fit, but not on Soundwave. Ravage's transformation into a box is kind of contortionist. Take the head, close the mouth, fold it up underneath the chest. Next, come to the back, take the legs and fold them back and up, and then you could push down on them and the hips will unpeg, and then you could slide them up into the cavity that was what is essentially the belly. Push the rear tail section down, fold the tail up underneath. Now that you've got those hips folded up and just up and out of the way, take the front leg, put it out straight like this, bend it in, and there's this tiny little peg that the inside of the bottom leg, front leg, will peg into. And that little peg hole is real small. Get it pegged in and fold the legs or front paws up like that. Then we come to the other legs and fold them down and flip up the paws and fold them up and into place. They should peg in to these little peg holes that are right there, but I can never get them quite lined up perfectly. So that is what you want it to look like. It's kind of ugly. Now this little box is going to get shoved into Soundwave's chest, and the fit isn't great. And I have a tendency to, when you get it in, the little toes that are sticking off the bottom here will scrape on the side, and the front feet have a tendency to pop off. Opening that chest is so satisfying. And then we slide Ravage in. And then close it up. And we slide Ravage in. And we close it up. Really? There we go. Ravage is in. I'm not going to lie, that does look pretty good. You can obviously tell that there's something in there, but the red and white and darker colors really make you think it's Laserbeak. But then you see feet, and it's obviously going to be Ravage. Getting Ravage out of there, open it up, and the spring should wiggle enough that he just slides right out. But if he is stuck for any reason, just turn Soundwave around, pop open Soundwave's back, and you can push him out with your finger. Or if you are really not able to get it out that way, flip it all the way out, and it'll pop out the back. Because, you know, Soundwave has no heart. He's heartless. He's a nobody. All right, let's get this little box lunch out of here, and let's take a look at Shockwave. Of the two figures, Shockwave is by far my favorite, and I think works a lot better than Ravage does. Ravage is cool, but Shockwave looks a lot better, and it's just much more fun, because he actually has an alt mode. Head sculpt for Shockwave is quite good. I love the little detailing it's got there, the nice yellow painted eye, the silver paint around the eye, kind of looks like the Matrix of Leadership a little bit. The overall aesthetic of the figure works really well. Ball joint in the shoulder, hinge joint at the elbow, then a swivel just above that. Head is on a swivel, hips are on ball joints, then there's a bend at the knee, and some foot articulation for the transformation. The gun, which is really big, is actually just a gun that he can hold. So you unpeg it from his hand, and he has 2 real hands, which is kind of silly, but necessary for the transformation. The gun can just be held in robot mode. I haven't figured out if there's a way to actually mount it on the back. There's no peg hole back here that this little peg can peg into, but oh well. Let's get into the transformation. To start off the transformation, take the gun and reach inside and grab the handle and just pull it down so that it is the connector bit is pointing back towards the back of the gun. Leave it like that and put it off to the side. Then grab the figure, take the head, turn it around 180 degrees like that so you have the black hole of evil staring forward. Take the arms and just kind of put them up and off to the side like that. Come down to the feet. Fold the feet up all the way like that. Now that the feet are folded down, come up to the hips and actually kind of rotate the hips up while pulling the legs down to make a letter H, like that. Come up to the chest, unpeg the chest from the entire rest of the body, and then flip it out. And you'll also flip out the tummy. And then that whole section will fold forward and kind of snap in between the legs. Then inside the legs, just behind the knees, there are tiny little peg holes. And you want to get those pegged into the tiny little pegs that are on the sides of the chest. And just get those in place, like that. And then come underneath the figure with that little tummy section and fold that tummy section up, and it will snugly peg into place. Next up, take the entire top torso section and fold it forward until it snaps into place. Then bring the arms down and around, and they will peg ever so gently into place in these little bitty gray pieces sticking off the outer hips. So there are these little slots on the back of the shoulders, and those will peg into place. And I did not get that lined up correctly on there. All right. Take the arms, turn them, and you see how they're bent right now? Take that swivel just above the elbow to point it so that the elbow is able to bend outwards. Then prevent the elbow from prevent the section from swiveling and turn the wrist or the forearm and then flip it up and peg it into place. So the same thing on the other side. I like to turn it just so that the large silver piece is pointing to the outside. Turn that whole section and get it into place. Oop, that did not line up correctly. There we go. And then we take the big old gun, and that handle piece that we were talking about earlier will peg into the back of Shockwave's head, which is silly, but it works. And that is the tank mode. Now, for a character that had no alt mode in the movie, I think Hasbro has done an absolutely fantastic job here. The alt mode works incredibly well. I love the little tank mode, and it just looks good. Yeah, from the back, it looks like Shockwave is seeing everything as he's driving backwards, but it's a good little tank mode. In fact, the tank mode turret can spin around, so you could have the back of the tank being like that, and it's got plenty of up and down movement. It's got 360 for the turret. It's a very successful tank mode that has a wonderful Shockwave from Transformers Prime homage. I like this. I think this is a great little Core Class figure. So that has been my video review of Core Class Shockwave and Core Class Ravage from the Studio Series line. I think Shockwave is a definite buy. I cannot recommend Ravage unless you own yourself a Cybertronian transforming Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. So folks, let me know what you think of these figures down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and I'll catch you all next time.